Glenn, real quick, let's just talk about what's your passion, what birthed this book, man. Where did this come from, and what's your heart behind this?
What birthed the idea? I tell you, just a series of life events birthed the idea. To keep it short, basically, I've been on this quest for financial freedom ever since I was basically actually in college. I was going to say out of college, but really in college. And I started doing sales, and I was a personal trainer, and then I started managing health clubs, and then I went into the direct sales industry, and I learned a lot through those different experiences, and I had a lot of different mentors, and I did well throughout a lot of these experiences, but I always had more month at the end of the money, and you know what I mean? And even when I was making a lot of money, I still was in the same position as I was when I was making less money, and throughout the years. And then finally, around 2008, when everything kind of crashed, I really hit rock bottom. I actually at that time was making more money than I'd ever made before, yet I was probably the most broke as I ever was before. And I was making a lot of financial mistakes, just reading all of these personal finance books. And then I on this quest, I decided, you know what, once and for all, I'm going to figure this out. And instead of just hiring a financial planner, I decided I was going to join a financial planning firm. I got to figure this out. So, I joined the financial planning firm, and it amazed me because here I was over here working as an entrepreneur in several different businesses over the years, and all of the training that I learned there was all about how to make money and how to, whether it was internet marketing or network marketing or small business, what have you, and all the people I surrounded myself in that arena. And then over here, the financial services arena with all the financial planners, and they all talked about what to do with the money, but yet either one of them really didn't talk about the other. And I realized, geez, all these books I've read, you got, books on how to make money. You have success books basically fit in these three categories: how to make money, personal finance, and then of course success mindset, like leadership and attitude and so forth. But really, the reality is everyone that I met in my entrepreneurial endeavors, everyone that I met that was coming into the financial planning firm, they all wanted the same things, what I wanted, and that was financial freedom. And I realized that, man, you got to have all of this. So I just had this passion to just put it out in paper because, I figured if I would have known some of these things that you'll read in the book, or that you already have read in the book, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have had so many struggles.
I love it. Well, it says a lot about you and your passion for this, because people join financial planning firms to make money. You joined a financial planning firm to gain the knowledge that they had. So that's pretty incredible. I love what you said. You kind of put it in three categories. You said, there's the category of how to make a dollar, and then there's the category of what to do when you make that dollar, and then there's really the category of the success mindset that you have. And this book really encapsulates all of that. So in your words, what would you say this book is about?
This book is about true wealth. I think the reality is everybody that I encounter, at least, wants financial freedom. I mean, who would turn it down? You know what I mean? Most everybody wants to be financially stable. And just the reality is it takes all of this to do that. It takes everything in this book. It takes a plan. People need a specific plan.
The book, you talk about the wealth tower, and so this book really it's about creating wealth, and you talk about that wealth tower. So give us a little insight, a sneak peek into what the wealth tower is.
Yeah, so throughout all these experiences, what I realized was building wealth is actually a lot like building a building, okay? So what I mean by that is this. In all of the success books and the success knowledge out there about mindset, behavior, working on yourself, reading more books, personal development, personal growth, spirituality, all of that really is the foundation to success. So I don't think anybody is going to disagree that the more you grow yourself, the more likely you are going to become successful. Rarely, if ever, does somebody get lucky and make a whole lot of money and then keep it for a long time. Okay, so it's all about growing yourself. And so back to the wealth tower. The wealth tower is the structure, and so in Mint True Freedom, people go through 21 tasks. Again, it's a 007 theme, as you know, so it's tasks. People go through these tasks and build their wealth tower. And the foundation of the wealth tower is, building yourself within. So positive attitude, health, goal setting, commitment. Okay, and so these things make up the foundation. And like I said, building wealth is a lot like building a building. The depth of the foundation is going to determine the height of the actual wealth. And so that's why you want to build rests also on bedrock. And that bedrock has to be extremely solid too. And the bedrock in the wealth tower is a relationship with God. And once again, bring up my personal endeavors and what inspired me to write the book. I noticed that the worse I did was basically the further away from God that I was the worse I did. And the closer to God I became, the better I did in life. And it's just funny how that works. So you build your wealth tower on a strong bedrock, which is a relationship from God. You put the foundation, which is beneath the surface. In a building, it's beneath the surface, just like the foundation of our wealth is beneath the surface. It's beneath the skin, right? And then as you go and you build the base of the tower, you build cash flow management, the basics of financial literacy, cash flow management, saving instead of spending, and so forth. And then you go on to actually debt reduction and making more money. And I just will say the last thing here about the wealth tower is probably the most important thing in this book to take away is the order of the wealth tower. See, here's what I mean by that. So many of us are focused on chasing the dollar. We're focused on building the wealth tower up top first. Think about most employees, not even entrepreneurs, just even everybody, entrepreneurs and employees. But think about employees. They spend a lot of their efforts and time socking away for retirement, yet they don't have the foundation and they don't have the cash flow management. So they might put away all this money into illiquid assets like a 401k, but they have nothing in the bank. So the order really matters. And so the order with the wealth tower is you build the foundation, and then you build your cash flow management and your emergency fund, and then you move on to actually debt reduction. Again, pay yourself first, and then reduce debt, and then start a home business, and then go to investing, and not the other way around.
I love it. Well, and I think that's one of the reasons you and I resonate. That I love that the initial foundation is that relationship with God, and I love that what we're talking about there. We're not talking about religion. We're not talking about any particular opinion or approach to that. What you're really talking about is knowing what your purpose is, knowing and having a relationship with your source, the creator of who you are, of building your life around and in alignment with the purpose that God has for your life. I love, I believe in the Bible. It says that God will give you the desires of your heart. And I think that to go into financial wealth endeavor, that foundation, Glenn, is so vital that we recognize that we are created for abundance, that we are created for a purpose, that the dreams and the goals that God has put inside of us, quite frankly, we deserve to have that experience. We're meant to have that experience in life. And I think a lot of times people try to build a life of purpose and wealth and abundance, but at their foundation, they don't really have a relationship with who they are. They don't have a relationship with who God has created them to be. And so without that foundation of knowing purpose, and you talk a lot about purpose even in the book, you talk about purpose and its relationship to happiness. So it's just real refreshing to hear all of that brought together and built on that rock solid foundation.